I am very grateful for this experience and also the privilege that I have had to be able to create this impact. I also think it has given me a lot of opportunity to learn, and it's put me right into the forefront of everything.
The Design Studio Internship program, we think of it as the future of teaching and learning. We move beyond the classroom setting and challenge students to engage in real-world problem sets, empowering them to make a tangible impact on society.
Walter was very passionate about investing in young people through education, knowing that they will be the ones who will be in position to give back and tackle some of the most challenging problems.
We've grown it to all of the Scott Scholar programs from around the country. Having all these perspectives, lived experiences, foundations of knowledge brings such a depth to these teams.
At Hastings College, we have a very small cohort size. So coming here, it feels like I'm finding more of my people. It's like we're finding the same ground.
Having them all come together in one spot, it is a lot of brain power and a lot of raw talent that is present.
Regardless of the school or home state, we want all of our design thinking interns to form a positive and lasting connection.
The design thinking process is really special in the sense that we put humans first.
They use specifically the Stanford design thinking process. That has been something entirely new for me.
The first stage is empathy. That consists of empathy interviews where we talk to our partners.
There's never a moment where we're separate from the people in mind. You never know what's really going to be a good solution until you figure it out with them.
The next one is our define stage and our ideate stage.
So from your yes ands, hopefully you had a wide variety of ideas. Some moonshot ones, some that could be happening tomorrow. Those are all great to have.
And then eventually we hit the prototype phase, testing out our very quick, tactile solutions to this problem. At the end of the design studio, we'll present our solutions that have basically shown us the most success in the testing phase.
I am the team lead for Millard Public Schools, the grades 6 through 12. My team partner, Lucy, she is working with the K-5 group.
None of us have worked with Millard Public Schools before, so we're bringing a brand new perspective.
We are looking at a lot of this from a big picture aspect.
This is our elementary STEAM summer school program, so all of our classes are related to some element of STEAM.
The problem statement that we posed to the students was, as our enrollment has stopped growing, how do we attract students to our district? I don't think any of us knew stepping into it exactly what the deliverables might be, which I hope made for a great design cycle experience. They have been incredibly hardworking, incredibly conscientious. They want to do this work well, and I think they're going to come up with some really good things that give us some fantastic ideas to truly make it an excellent experience.
Within the empathy stage, we were able to learn so many surprises. That kind of altered the way we viewed this problem.
The more you can make just the whole school setting playful, overall, the better.
The people we were talking to, they were making a little community, and I really like that. I think it's important that they are learning how to work together as a team.
Originally, we thought we were going to be very separate and working on almost different projects at the same time, but as we've gone on throughout the month and a half, we've seen that all of our ideas have come together, and we're basically one large group now working to help Millard Public Schools.
Capstone project that can include science fair, any large months or longer projects.
We found that it's all about the kids' connection to their classes. So instead of more focused on STEM, we're trying to focus on the community.
We're going to be implementing each different section of the Stanford design thinking process within each grade level.
After 4 years of learning the design thinking process, the culminating experience will be the capstone project in 5th grade. They'll learn how to work together and hopefully have some fun along the way.
This will all lead into a 8th grade capstone project to solve the problems that some community or company partners have.
We want to make it so that students feel like they can make significant changes within the community, within their school system, and within the world in general.
This is one of the most inspirational moments of my life. It's lit a fire within me to just go out and help kids.
I look forward to seeing what the younger generation can do.
The world is yours and you have so much to do with it.
We want them to be great design thinkers, obviously, but we also want them to be great friends.
Walter was very passionate about Omaha and wanting to think about ways he could partner with others to make the community outstanding. We hope that we're able to expose students to his passion as a philanthropist, not just in the education spaces, but throughout the community.
First of all, the zoo is a big pride for people here.
People that aren't from Omaha, it's so fun to watch their eyes like light up. I get to see it in a brand new way that I've never seen it before.
It was basically, okay, here you are, you have your wristbands, and now go out and see what the people behind your education have built in Omaha.
The penguins were really funny, the giraffes, the skyfari. And we were all like exhausted by that night.
We went to the College World Series and that was a super hot day, but it was really fun.
I'm an ex-baseball player. I just hung up my spikes. I dreamed of playing in this tournament. I remember in particular, one of the Tennessee players hit a home run literally right over us. And that was just unreal, like unreal.
We are going to the Luminarium and I think it's going to be great since we're all interested in that field.
So the exploration that we're doing today is we're going to explore the high and low pressure that builds up around a spherical object. I'm going to pull forward and let go of the rubber band.
It's pretty rare that you're getting these like really focused projects. 10 weeks is pretty short to solve a big problem. It's really just like a test of our team building skills, and getting the opportunity to really refine that over the summer is pretty spectacular. INSIN, the National Security Innovation Network, they usually partner with military sectors to kind of bridge the gap between them and like academia. The Air Force was having issues with the way that they were reporting on their service spending.
How do we report and how do we manage everything? It's just kind of like everything really. It's all about data. And this is where you all come in.
The problem statement ended up evolving into how can we create a process that cut down on a lot of wasted time. There's a lot of new skills that we need for various projects, and then our individual coding work has been a lot of learning as well.
Every student, regardless of major, develops proficiency in a programming language.
They work with 2 developers who are past Scott Scholars, who then created a company of their own, and they now teach coding for our students.
The coding workshops give you a chance to work on skills. We did a lot of work with databases and live web-based applications. Being able to present that to the Air Force and be like, hey, this is a solution that we would be confident in being able to achieve, I feel like is very impactful.
This one is attempting to see how much money is being spent of the total budget.
How would you say his overall reaction was to your ideas and then feedback?
Yeah, Kavi was very positive. He thought that we were in a good place. He thought the quality of what we were doing was very good. So.
Great.
Being able to take those skills back with me has lasting impacts. The reason personally why I got in engineering in the first place is to make a difference. And this is kind of that opportunity to make a difference and kind of feel that impact.
Our partners essentially kind of needed both a way to format our data and a way to visualize it. Things can slip through the cracks when you have a lot of data. So when you have all of the contracts color coordinated, you can very easily see what's wrong and what's going well.
We wanted to kind of redefine the entire process and look at how we might make something that could be applied to something beyond just the Air Force. It's kind of fun to see what's actually happening in the world and get a chance to be a part of that.
I'm always like a little nervous when I'm starting new things, especially because I didn't know anyone going in. But like everyone in this program is incredibly smart, intelligent, funny.
While everybody else is attempting to actually do trivia, I drew a pirate ship.
very kind and thoughtful, and I've been really grateful to slowly but surely meet everyone. Our team project is with City Sprouts, which is a nonprofit community garden in the Omaha area.
The big focus here is equitable food systems. So the problem statement we came up with was really focused on the fundraising side of things, which is so huge for nonprofits.
The particular problem that we were tasked with is how to make their fundraising efforts more effective and efficient and sustainable for years to come.
The site visit, we did a tour of the space. We answered lots of questions about the space and what we do. We went over some different ideas of how to improve the website and make it more accessible for donors. Every time we meet, they are prepared with questions. They come up with solutions that are so creative. I've had a great time with my team.
It was really special to be able to be on site itself, and it totally changes your perspective. We had a couple aha moments. It really helps motivate you when you see that you're working for a good cause. It's like you want to give as much as you can.
One of our ideas to work on was improving the website. And so here we coded our own examples of possible pages. We've really worked out incentives and tier levels.
This is our mock-up donation page. You can choose between one-time or monthly.
We had the thought that their target audience would be able to symbolically adopt a plant.
Similar to the Adopt a Plant, you can dedicate a bench in the garden, a fruit tree, and you can also engrave a brick for the garden path.
It's really a great privilege to be able to have a project where your actions do impact real people. There's kind of constant opportunities to get to know different people in the program. They say, treat us as if we were part of your family, and they really mean that when they say that.
When Walter was with us, he would regularly refer to every Scott Scholar as his grandkid. They'd call him Grandpa. That word comes to life when you get to see how much he was loved and how much he loved back.
I think the barn and visiting Walter Scott's house has been probably my favorite activity so far.
The house, now, that was crazy. That was crazy.
I loved the floating staircase, the custom wood from a tree he bought in Africa. The Louisiana Purchase was very cool, especially being a history buff.
That family, that blessing of education, to be so close to that, so intimately close to that is so amazing.
Without them, I wouldn't be able to confidently say that I'd be in college right now. I'm going to be forever grateful for that experience, just to be able to pursue what I like so that I can have an impact on the world and hopefully give back like they did.
Tom Osborne, his name is on buildings, his name is on roads, and all of a sudden he became more than a name. He became human.
When you think about it, the most precious gift you can give another person is the gift of time. We can make more money, but you can't make more time. Each one of us has only so much.
In that moment at the barn, I felt the most support I've ever felt in my entire life. When we get speeches like that from Coach Osborne and when we hear from the foundation, we get to see the people that support us and are investing in us.
The most efficient time that I spent as a coach was probably the 15, 20, 30 minutes after practice. And it was on their turf. It wasn't me inviting them into my office. And we talked about what they wanted to talk about.
He never brought up winning. It was always the process and how to think through that. And I thought that was really applicable to us, because it's almost like the solution is not the main focus, it's getting everything else right, and the solution will come into play.
My biggest takeaway from Coach Osborne was probably finding a way to elevate your people through human connection versus trying to highlight the way you operate. I just think that's so incredibly important, especially in the athletic world and outside, that leaders find a way to raise everybody around them up. The client that I have the amazing opportunity to work with is Nebraska Medicine's emergency department. I absolutely love my group. We've got a great team of individuals.
What we're working on is kind of how to optimize their waiting room. The people that are coming into the emergency room are experiencing probably the worst day of their lives. And so we want to know how we can make that a little bit more welcoming and a little bit more comforting, as well as how we can make it more efficient.
That can be a frustrating experience for a patient. One, because there's no time sense in there. And so everything seems, when you're not feeling well, things seem longer. People like to know when they're going to get seen. They came there to be seen. They want to know, well, I'm not going to get seen now. When will I be seen?
When you're coming up with solutions within your hospital, within your system, within healthcare, yes, you can have some very smart people in the room, but you may have some limited options as opposed to having multiple people from multiple perspectives giving their input and observations.
The best part about the Stanford design thinking process, in my opinion, is the ideate step. It's just super easy for everybody to participate and just throw up a sticky note. Our station in Mav Landing, it is caked in sticky notes. We did like a small little count. We were up to like 180 or something like that. That was just us trying to like figure stuff out. 180 sticky notes later.
I appreciated that they took risks and then presented in a way that was very easy to understand, that showed those observations and inferences come through.
Patients didn't really seem to know where to go when they first entered. Like they didn't know who to check in with. And so what our idea was to have kind of like a colored path tile.
We have a lot of prototypes. I think I counted it. We have 10 remodel ideas, all centered around what tiny little modifications can we make right now to just change everything as much as we can.
We made 2 potential models for both the current ER and a potential new ER. This model right here is a low fidelity model of what we would potentially do for a new ER waiting room.
In the Lego model, we really have the same layout, but we just changed some of the little things. The water station, the tables.
If we do a remodel, we can't expand it. There's not any space to spare. So we have to find a way to use the space we do have in the best way possible.
That has the potential to impact folks' lives. Yeah, they helped us, but more importantly, they're helping our community.
Our project specifically is with Valentine, Nebraska, and their problem statement was, how do we get young families not only to invest in their community, but to stay there? My major is in business and community development, and when I got tasked with the Valentine project, the stars had aligned in such a way to where I could put my major to practice.
Young people appreciate the quality of life in rural Nebraska. But the question becomes, how do I make a living? Community doesn't happen overnight. Relationships take time to build. So we would like to have some actionable steps that we can begin taking as early as this fall.
Our site visit, we're going to be basically immersing ourselves in the community culture to figure out what's working and what's not. It's going to be so important for the next design stages to come.
Being there in person changed our perspective on everything.
It wasn't exactly what I thought rural Nebraska could be like.
When we got to Valentine, we kind of realized that it was a blank canvas. We had seen all of these plans and all of these ideas that have been around for years and years in the making, but due to a lack of communication and a lack of programming, the ideas just weren't connecting.
One of the biggest surprises that I really noticed is that funding really wasn't the issue. They've got the money to do a lot of the projects that they want to get done. It's just the lack of communication between these different parties that inhibits the progress. We've been trying to focus on stepping stones to these big projects.
For our prototype, we came up with a document, and this document goes through about 5 years of planning.
They are people with just these really great aspirations for their community, and everyone has the right to love their community and love what they do.
This is going to take a while, and it's going to be more than us to make things not only built to last, but built to move.
This year, we're proud to announce the launch of a new program, Design Studio Pro, which really takes students who have individual passion projects and puts an entire team of mentors around them to take a product from something that they're excited about to something that's actually making a difference in the world.
We've been working on creating visualizations of higher level undergraduate math and computer science topics because we find that the explanation exists, but visuals don't exist. This idea started originally as a personal project of mine. Cal came to me and was like, hey, I know you built this thing. We should pitch this as an idea to the Scott Scholars team.
The three of us are so passionate about this. We really feed on each other's energies throughout the day, and we get a lot more done. We're not only coding these interactive visuals, we're also writing our own articles to explain these visuals in depth. It's interesting for us to take a look at it from this side because we're used to being the learners and not the teachers.
After the summer, hopefully the very mundane things are out of the way, the website framework itself, and we can continue it into the school year.
We really appreciate the Scott Scholars giving us this opportunity to learn and grow within the framework of the Design Studio Internship. It's given us a really great chance to make something that otherwise we wouldn't have gotten to make.
It's off to a promising start, and we expect it to be a program that's sustained for a very long time.
We're paid to think, we're paid to be creative, to get our hands on the table, put sticky notes on the walls, and that's the best job you can be paid for, I think.
Having this head start, this foot in the door, has been a wonderful resume builder, but also life skill builder for me, so I'm just very grateful for the entire experience.
Education is so much more than just what happens in the walls of a classroom. Every one of these students has their own unique journey, and we get to play a small part in helping them realize that.
I hope they learned something about themselves and found something that they can be passionate about or gained a new perspective. They can do really amazing things, especially when you work together.
These are people that are going to lead Nebraska into tomorrow, into the next 5 years, into the next 10 years. And these partnerships that we're making, you just never know what's going to happen.
All these people are going to perform highly in whatever they choose to do.
The amount of time that we're spending together is really meaningful and impactful to that support system and those relationships. It's almost like you're like lifelong friends with these guys, even though you've only been working with them for a couple weeks.
It's been really great to be surrounded by so many intelligent, bright, compassionate people who want to change the world.